Welcome, friends, and let me regale you with the tale of how a brilliant young intern uttered 3 fateful words that brought a struggling construction empire back from the brink of ruin. Enjoy the story. Downtown Los Angeles was abuzz with rumors about the imminent collapse of Alex Burrows' construction empire. Once a thriving business, Burrows' construction had fallen on hard times. Contracts were drying up, bills were piling high, and bankruptcy loomed on the horizon like an ominous storm cloud. Alex Burrows, the 45-year-old owner, sat hunched over his computer in his sparsely decorated office. The only sounds were the hum of the aging desktop and the occasional defeated sigh from Alex as he scrolled through page after page of bankruptcy information. How had it come to this? 20 years of blood, sweat, and tears poured into building his company, only to watch it crumble before his eyes. Maybe it's time to throw in the towel, Alex muttered under his breath, rubbing his stubbled jaw. He glanced at the family photo on his desk, his wife Lena and their twin boys, Max and Liam. The weight of his responsibilities felt suffocating. Lena had already picked up a part-time job to help make ends meet. The boys deserved better than a father who couldn't keep the lights on. Alex took a deep breath and bookmarked the bankruptcy page. He'd give it one more week, one more desperate grasp at salvation before admitting defeat and filing the paperwork that would dismantle his life's work. Feeling every one of his 45 years, Alex shut off his computer and headed home, not knowing that his company's unlikely savior was about to walk through the door. Across town in a cozy suburban house, 22-year-old Sarah Wilson was at a crossroads of her own. Fresh out of college with a double major in Spanish and German, Sarah had envisioned a glamorous career as a globe-trotting translator. But the real world had a harsh wake-up call in store. Saddled with student loans and unable to land a steady job, Sarah found herself slinging lattes and doing odd translation gigs to scrape by. "Honey, you've got to be patient," Sarah's mom, Karen, said gently as they sat at the kitchen table. "You're a smart girl with a lot to offer. The right opportunity will come along." Sarah traced the rim of her coffee mug with her finger, frustration etched on her delicate features. "But Mom, I didn't spend 4 years busting my butt in school to work minimum wage forever. I want a real job where I can use my skills and actually make a difference." "I know, sweetie, and you will. But sometimes you have to start small and work your way up. Promise me you'll keep an open mind and not pass up any chances, okay?" Karen reached across the table and squeezed Sarah's hand. Sarah sighed but nodded. "Okay, Mom. I'll do my best." Little did she know, a chance was right around the corner. The very next day, a secretarial job listing caught Sarah's eye. Burrows Construction was looking for an office assistant with Spanish skills. It wasn't exactly her dream translation gig, but it was a step in the right direction. Sarah polished up her resume and headed downtown for the interview. Dressed in her most professional blouse and pencil skirt, Sarah's heels clicked confidently on the tile floor as she entered the Burrows Construction offices. She was greeted by Ruth Jameson, the matronly HR manager. "Sarah Wilson?" Ruth extended a hand. "Pleasure to meet you. I'm Ruth. Come on back and we'll chat." Sarah followed Ruth to a small conference room, her nerves jangling beneath her confident exterior. The interview began with the usual pleasantries and questions about Sarah's background, but as Sarah began describing her language skills and study abroad experiences, Ruth's eyes lit up. "Sounds like you've got quite the knack for languages," Ruth said, jotting notes on Sarah's resume. "Spanish and German. Very impressive. You know, we do a fair bit of work with Latin American and European clients. Could come in handy." Sarah's heart leapt. Finally, a glimmer of hope that her hard-earned skills could be put to use. She and Ruth continued chatting amicably, and by the end of the interview, Sarah was feeling cautiously optimistic. "Well, Sarah," Ruth said with a warm smile as she stood to shake Sarah's hand, "I think you'd be a great fit here at Burrows. We'd like to offer you a paid internship to start, with the potential for a full-time position down the line. What do you say?" Sarah barely contained her excitement as she shook Ruth's hand. "I say yes. Thank you so much, Ruth. I can't wait to get started." And so, with a spring in her step and a renewed sense of purpose, Sarah reported for her first day as the newest intern at Burroughs Construction. She arrived early, dressed to impress in a crisp white blouse and navy slacks, but her enthusiasm was quickly dampened by the lukewarm reception from her new colleagues. Alex Burroughs, looking haggard and preoccupied, barely glanced up from his papers when Ruth introduced Sarah at the morning meeting. "Welcome aboard," he mumbled distractedly before diving back into his files. The other employees seemed equally disinterested in the bright-eyed new intern, all except Monica Ramirez, a 30-something project manager who was preparing to go on maternity leave. Monica took Sarah under her wing, showing her the ropes and offering friendly advice. "Just keep your head down and do your work," Monica cautioned as she and Sarah sorted through a stack of invoices. "Alex is under a lot of stress right now, and it's best not to rock the boat with new ideas. Trust me." Sarah nodded, trying to mask her disappointment. She had hoped to make a real impact at Burroughs, not just fade into the background, but she resolved to be patient and bide her time, just as her mother had advised. As the weeks passed, Sarah threw herself into her work, impressing everyone with her diligence and language skills. She deftly navigated tricky translations and smoothed over communication snafus with international clients. But still, she yearned for a chance to truly shine. That chance came on a rainy Tuesday morning, 3 months into Sarah's internship. Alex burst into the office, a rare spark of energy in his tired eyes. He waved a handful of papers as he called the team to an impromptu meeting. "Listen up, everyone," Alex said, his voice tight with barely contained excitement. "I just got off the phone with Dieter Schmidt, the head of Schmidt Tech in Berlin. They're looking to expand into the American market and need a construction partner. If we can land this contract, it could be the lifeline we need to turn things around." A murmur of excitement rippled through the room. Schmidt Tech was a major player in the German construction industry, and a contract with them would be a game-changer for Burroughs. But as the details emerged, the excitement faded to concern. "Here's the thing," Alex said, rubbing his forehead. "The contract is in German, and Schmidt wants to hash out the details over a video call. But my German is rusty at best. We need someone who can translate and fast." A heavy silence fell over the room. No one spoke up. Sarah's heart began to race. This was her moment, the chance she'd been waiting for. She took a deep breath and stood up, her voice ringing out clear and confident. "Ich kann helfen," she said in perfect German. "I can help." Alex's head snapped up, his eyes locking with Sarah's. In that moment, a flicker of hope passed between them. Alex looked at Sarah with excitement. These 3 words from the intern made him want to fall at her feet. Well, mentally at least. Although, to be fair, Alex was ready to crawl at this girl's feet. "You speak German?" he asked incredulously. Sarah nodded, a small smile playing at her lips. "Fluently. I majored in German and Spanish in college and studied abroad in Berlin for a year." A grin broke out on Alex's face, the first real smile Sarah had seen from him in months. "Well then, Sarah, it looks like you're our secret weapon. Can you translate the contract and sit in on the call with Schmidt?" "Absolutely," Sarah said, her confidence growing by the second. "I'll get started right away." Over the next few days, Sarah poured herself into the Schmidt Tech project. She meticulously translated the dense contract, clarifying legal jargon and technical terms. She prepared extensive notes for Alex and coached him on German business etiquette. When the day of the big video call arrived, Sarah was a bundle of nerves. As she set up the conference room and tested the audio connection, her hands shook slightly. This was her big moment, the chance to prove her worth and save the company she'd come to care about. Alex entered the room, looking more polished and put together than Sarah had ever seen him. He straightened his tie and gave Sarah a nod of encouragement. "You've got this," he said quietly. "I'm glad you're here." Sarah swallowed hard and returned the nod. "Thanks, Alex. I won't let you down." The video call connected, and Dieter Schmidt's face filled the screen. He was a stern-looking man in his 50s, with piercing blue eyes and a no-nonsense demeanor. "Guten Tag," he said crisply. "Shall we begin?" Sarah took a deep breath and began translating, her voice steady and confident. She deftly conveyed Alex's points and questions, while expertly interpreting Schmidt's responses. The two men quickly fell into a rhythm, with Sarah as the essential bridge between them. As the call went on, Schmidt's icy exterior began to thaw. He seemed impressed by Sarah's language skills and professionalism. "Your translator is quite good," he remarked to Alex. "She has a keen understanding of the technical aspects." Alex beamed with pride. "She's one of our best and brightest. We're lucky to have her." After 2 hours of intense negotiation, the call ended on a high note. Schmidt agreed to move forward with the contract, contingent on a few minor changes that Sarah would translate. Alex could hardly contain his elation as he ended the video chat. "Sarah, you were incredible!" he exclaimed, clasping her shoulders. "I can't believe it. You may have just single-handedly saved this company." Sarah blushed, a mix of pride and relief washing over her. "I'm just glad I could help, and I have to thank you for giving me the chance to prove myself." Alex shook his head. "No, Sarah, thank you. You've shown me what real talent and dedication look like. And speaking of which..." He reached into his pocket and pulled out an envelope, pressing it into Sarah's hand. "I want you to have this. Consider it a bonus for going above and beyond." Sarah opened the envelope to find a check for $5,000. Her eyes widened in shock. "Alex, I can't accept this. It's too much." "Nonsense," Alex said firmly. "You've earned every penny, and I want you to know that your hard work hasn't gone unnoticed. In fact, I'd like to offer you a permanent position here at Burroughs. We could use someone with your skills and drive on our team." Tears sprang to Sarah's eyes as the reality of the moment sank in. She had done it. She had taken a chance, seized an opportunity, and proven her worth. And now she had a real job with a company that believed in her. "I'd be honored," she said, her voice thick with emotion. "Thank you, Alex, for everything." Alex smiled, a genuine warmth in his eyes. "Thank you, Sarah, for saving my company and for reminding me what really matters. Now, what do you say we celebrate with a team lunch? My treat." Sarah grinned, feeling like she was walking on air. "Lead the way, boss." As they left the conference room, Sarah's phone buzzed with a text from her mom. "How's work going, honey? Any news?" Sarah paused, her fingers hovering over the screen. Then, with a smile, she typed out a response. "You were right, Mom. The right opportunity came along, and I seized it. I just helped land a huge contract and got promoted to a permanent position. Burroughs Construction is going to be okay, and so am I." Hitting send, Sarah slipped her phone back into her pocket and hurried to catch up with Alex and the rest of the team. As they stepped out into the Los Angeles sunshine, Sarah felt a sense of pride and purpose swell within her. She had found her place in the world, and she knew that this was just the beginning of a bright and promising future.